Hi there. Happy Sunday. Fun day. How's your morning going? Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist T.J. Springer here in the Storm Center for another breakfast chat, another Fox 35 weather extra. It is 10:31 on the dot, and I hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. It's picturesque out there. We're seeing a lot of sunshine and some clouds nonetheless, but overall, kind of like yesterday, kind of a wash, rinse, and repeat kind of pattern that we're in here. But we are live on Fox 35, our Facebook account. We're live on my Facebook account. We are live on YouTube. Sonia Mills, good morning to you. Southern Grits, aka Patricia, I love the name, and I love grits. How are you? Good morning to you. Not seeing anybody on Facebook just yet. I'm going to make sure I'm actually live. I am live on. We are. Okay, good deal. All right, well, thank you to all of you for hopping on this morning. I always appreciate it. Hey, Joseph. Happy Sunday. Yes, we are trying to stay cool. I feel like every single day now is the dog days of summer for us. Alrighty, well, again, if you have any questions or comments, concerns, whatever's on your mind, throw it in, and I will try to answer. But thankfully, weather-wise, it's pretty quiet today. We're in this somewhat stagnant pattern once again. We have this ridge of high pressure that has really been building in. It's all to our north, really making for a hot stretch across the eastern third of the country. And the mid-Atlantic up into the northeast, that's where temperatures have really been hot. And we're still hot down here, but you can see the ridge, everything going up and around that ridge. Remember, when you have an area of high pressure, you see clockwise motion around it. So that's why we're getting more of this motion from east to west across the peninsula. And we can see a few downpours. We've had some lightning strikes at times. Nothing right now, but we're starting to see a couple of showers, even as far inland now as eastern Osceola County, in western Brevard County as well, between the Turnpike and 192. A couple of sprinkles up on the intracoastal, between Port St. John and Titusville on the Cape, and now we're seeing a little sprinkle, a little downpour just south of the beach line as well, and we're monitoring what's offshore on the Volusia coast, the Volusia County beaches as well. So right now, nothing all that impressive, but we'll continue to monitor this because we are going to have the sea breeze moving in as we progress through the remainder of the day. And I think that as it collides with the west coast sea breeze, that's going to be the main driver in our isolated showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. Now, we do have a risk or a potential for some tropical development. It's low, only a 10% chance, but it's something we're going to continue to monitor. This is just a sign that, hey, we're getting deeper into hurricane season, and despite conditions not terribly favorable for any sort of big development with this area of low pressure, it's still something that will need to be watched. It's disorganized right now. Some slow development is a possibility. Again, this is over the next 2 days and 7 days, a 10% chance of development either way, but it's looking like as it moves to the north and east, it is going to move into a more hostile environment, so it should be getting torn apart as we progress through the next week plus. That's something we'll continue to monitor. Temperatures this morning back closer to home, 80s, almost 90 in Bithlo, and it's not even 10:35. Whoever's watching, and if anyone is watching that's not super local, I want to know what you have to say. Do you like the heat? Do you like the chill? It's funny because now that we live down here in Florida, I feel like I hear a lot of friends and coworkers. It's like, oh, I want to go on a cool vacation. I don't want to go into the tropics somewhere. I want to go to a snowy locale. I want to go skiing. I want to go to a cabin in the mountains. So I love the beach. I've always been a beach bum. I could be at the beach probably every day and enjoy it just the same. But there is something about cooler conditions, especially if you've lived in Florida your entire life and really not moved around. Never seeing snow before, or having temperatures that get down, into the 20s or teens. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Weigh in the comments. I'd love to hear your take on it. All right. Well, speaking of the heat indices are up in the 90s already. It feels like about 100 degrees in Titusville, and it's 10:37 in the morning. Not fun. We don't love it. At least that's my personal opinion. I'm not sure if you feel the same way, but it's early and it already feels this hot. So if that's any sign of where we're headed for the afternoon, get ready. We have the high dew points, and they're going to stay elevated. Now, I'll show you this in just a minute, but we are getting some drier air working around that ridge into the Sunshine State. So with that, the humidity tries to relax just a little bit. So with that, the heat indices may come down just a little bit, but I don't think enough where it's really going to be a noticeable factor in our day-to-day life. Anybody hitting up Magic Kingdom today? I'll actually be there. So doing this forecast for myself as well as everyone else that may be going to Magic Kingdom. So we're getting into the 80s as we head toward late this morning. Highs in the 90s, watching out for a few showers and thunderstorms. And it's going to be nowhere near a washout. But bringing the rain gear, bringing maybe the umbrella, rain jacket, just to be safe, I think would be a good idea. So also, don't mind me, I'm going to put my hand up real fast. Our little camera, you put your hand up and it freezes. So there we go. I don't want it to keep moving around on me. All right, so that's the Magic Kingdom forecast. That's the forecast for the parks. And you can see really across Central Florida as a whole, highs today going to be in the low to mid 90s. Now, near the coast with that onshore flow, I don't think we're going to have temperatures quite as hot. Still hot, upper 80s, but not as hot as what it'll be farther inland. Again, we're live on Fox 35's Facebook page, YouTube, as well as Fox Local. If you're just joining us, hello, I'm T.J. Springer. We're doing our Fox 35 Weather Extra, our breakfast chat, and this is something that we're doing every Saturday and Sunday morning now at 10:30. So please share, keep commenting, keep joining me. Hopefully we can get it to keep growing, which that's all we want, right? Because you're the ones that we do this for, and you're the ones that allow us to do it, which is even better. All right, this is what we could be in for this afternoon. Heat indices in the triple digits, and we're not even that far away from it already in Titusville, as we were just showing you. 101 in Claremont, Leesburg, 100 in DeLand, the century mark for the villages. It's just going to be a sultry afternoon. Christina Joy, hello to you in Claremont. What is up? Thankfully, no hurricanes coming. There is a disturbance in the Atlantic that we are watching. The National Hurricane Center did put a 10% chance of development on that, but not going to be any impact to us, thankfully. But we will be watching, as we always do. All right, tonight, temperatures back down into the 70s, upper 70s near the coast in spots like Cocoa Beach. A little cooler for our Fox 51 locales off to the northwest, 75 in Orlando, Bithlo, Sanford. Overall, I'd say I call it a mainly starry night. Once we lose the daytime driven instability, we kind of see a lot of the cloud cover fade away, and we wake up to sunshine-filled conditions just like we had this morning. All right, the heat tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday. Notice a slight decrease in the feels like temps. So that is because the humidity tries to relax. And I'm just checking Facebook, checking YouTube, making sure I'm not missing any comments or questions. But if anything pops on your mind or comes across your head, throw it in. I'm checking on my page as well, making sure I'm not missing anything. Alrighty. Love to see it. Also, a brief side note for anyone that has visited Central Florida, you've probably driven on I-4, and I did share something on my Facebook page, which I laughed out loud this morning when I was forecasting. It's a photo, so if you want to go over to my Facebook page and check it out, it's an I-4 guide, quote unquote, and Florida Life was actually the account that shared it. But it's just talking about how bad I-4 is. It says crap, actually not that bad here, mild crap, basic hell, Disney crap, and it's just kind of going through each portion of each portion of I-4. Yeah, it's definitely one of those highways, one of those interstates that we all have to drive on for the most part in Central Florida or out toward Tampa or up to the north and east. It's a major thoroughfare, so I just thought that was funny. It it grabbed my attention this morning. Okay, back to the weather, back to the heat indices. The feels like temps barely drop with this dry air working into Florida. They quickly start to rise once again back into the low triple digits by Thursday and Friday, which is typical of this time of the year. Still below heat advisory criteria, but that doesn't make it feel any better, right? All right, Donna, hello to you. I hope I don't butcher your name, Donna Bieschke Strickler. I hope I said that right. In the Chicago suburbs, that's amazing. Well, thank you for watching all the way up in the Windy City. Hotter than Florida the next couple of days. Yes, yeah, this heat dome is impacting millions of people, I feel like, across the eastern half of the country, the eastern third of the nation. Well, stay cool up there. Try to beat the heat. Hello, Nini. How are you? Hello to you in Lakeland. And Donna, thank you so much. I love that you love watching all the way up there. That makes us so happy. Makes me so happy. Yeah, it's funny. I've heard that from some friends and some family and some other viewers from some other spots that I've worked. They've come down and visited, and it feels like you get the Florida vibes, right? Okay. Well, it's feeling like Florida in lots of locales now across the eastern third of the nation with this heat dome. Okay, here's our Fox model, timing out some of these showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. It's all isolated, but in the heating of the day, as the sea breezes come together and you get any outflow from some of these storms, we could see a little more coverage. But even that, the coverage, it's hit or miss, it's spotty. But with the high dew points, with the heat, we could still have a rogue, stronger storm or two. We're not under any sort of a risk, but we do have the potential for some, with all the moisture in the air, some good downpours, some frequent lightning, and also because of some of that dry air, we also have the potential for some gusty wind, and that's kind of just the nature of these because we don't have a lot of upper level support, not a lot of wind shear or wind energy, so these grow up with the instability and they kind of crash back down, and that's when you can get some of that gusty wind. So we'll be watching that 3 o'clock, early evening, all going east to west, southeast to northwest, kind of across the peninsula through dinner time. May have a couple showers lingering across Marion County, Lake Sumter County from the villages, maybe southbound. Even a stray shower still possible, maybe closer to the theme parks and Disney. So if you're getting outdoors, watch the Fox Local app. Keep your eyes to the sky. Keep tabs on the radar. And then as we head through the overnight, we'll see some clearing. And then it looks like even lesser rain chances as we start to head into this upcoming work week. So that's some good news there if you have any plans. You're visiting here, maybe on vacation, but still, that dominant onshore flow could give us a couple of showers or storms. All right, Christina, let's see, getting some crazy thunderstorms. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. We had a lot of lightning. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. That came out of nowhere. I apologize. Hello, Jean. How are you? I hope you have a great day as well. Thank you for the wishes. I'm sending it right back to you. Well, I'll leave you with the 7-day here for a minute. We can talk a little bit about this. And if anybody has anything on their mind, throw it in. I can actually pull up the outlook temperature-wise too, because you may be wondering if you're coming down to visit, or maybe with this ridge, this heat in the east, is it going to continue? So that's something we'll talk about here in a moment. But 7-day forecast, locally speaking, in Central Florida, 90s, and then we creep back up. We're staying above normal. That's the trend here. But notice, we're in the rainy season now, and this is not all that typical to have only a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. I don't think we'll be completely rain-free. Maybe the beaches on the East Coast might be able to squeak out mainly rain-free. Lower chances, possibly. And I show you the rain chances even today. But this ridge does look to start to break down as we head through late week, and that corresponds with some higher storm chances. Watching a disturbance there that could bring a little more rain Friday into next weekend. Ty, good morning. Happy Sunday. You're saying I-75 was a nightmare yesterday in Ocala. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can imagine. Well, I see 8 of you watching on YouTube right now, so thank you for sticking with me. And I see a good handful right now on Facebook, around 35. I love to see. Again, please share this, and we want to get as big of a following as we can. Now that we're doing these consistently, 10:30 every morning, and because we're kind of just, it's kind of new. It's mainly weather driven, but I've kind of talked with some coworkers and just doing some fun things. I know I try to hit on some of the trending stories that we talk about on Good Day Orlando. And maybe that'll be something I end with. I'll hit the forecast, and if you have any questions, we'll bounce back and forth. And then we can talk about some of the trending stories that we had on the show each day. And anything that might be trending in your lives too. Anything that, anything fun going on, anything that is big in your own world. Okay, well, let me go up to the CPC outlook. We'll do 6 to 10, and we'll also do the 8 to 14. Okay, so here's the 6 to 10. So this is for us and the southeast. You can see all of the red. So above normal temperatures. And if I zoom out, you can see what this heat dome is doing. And it's parked on top of the eastern seaboard across the mid-Atlantic, and it is just going to make for a really sweltering stretch of temperatures. And as we go into the 8 to 14 day period, still looks like we're staying above normal in the southeast across the Sunshine State. This is from June 30th up through July 6th. We can see that heat. So if you're on vacation, you're coming down here, expect the heat. All right, I'm going to throw back up the radar right now. And again, if anybody has any questions or comments, please throw them in. But there's the ridge. There's the area of high pressure, which is going to keep us hotter and drier here at home. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the trending stories that we had this morning, and we actually talked a little bit about it at I think each hour we did. So one of the fun ones, which it kind of reminded me of my brother, because he is a skateboarder, always has been. I was never really a skateboarder. The extent of my skateboarding was sitting on the skateboard and rolling down the driveway. That was the extent of my of my skateboarding. So this was an older gentleman. If I'm not mistaken, he was in Australia, and they were calling him the grandpa skateboarder, I think is what they were calling him. But anyway, he had a mobility scooter and was tearing up the skate park in the mobility scooter. So that was a trending story that Caroline and I were talking about this morning. Let's see. Another one, and this I think is really fun because it's, I feel like, a universal question, a universal debate. So please weigh in. if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, or on local, you can hop on Facebook or YouTube and put in your comment. But we actually had a poll on Good Day Orlando about heating and air conditioning. What is like the perfect temperature in your house, or where do you usually keep it at? And it was actually on marthastewart.com talking about the perfect temperature ideally. This was from her website, around 70 degrees, like all year round. But especially in hotter climates, hotter locales like Florida, putting your air at 70 degrees, that would be an expensive electric bill. But the story was saying that once you hit 75 and starts to go north of 75, up mid to upper 70s in terms of the thermostat, that's more efficient on your air conditioner. You're saving money. So at our house, we usually have it at 75 during the day and 73 at night. And then in the wintertime, we had the thermostat set to 70 with the heat. If the heat was actually on a lot, at least for us personally, this past winter in Florida. 70, and then we did 68, I think. 68, 69 at night to keep it a little cooler. So I believe it was 64%. Our producers, Jackie and Maddie May, were saying that 64% weighed in that they would rather have it above 70. That 70 degrees was too chilly. So I want to know what you think. If you're so inclined to throw in a comment on YouTube or Facebook. I'm not seeing anything, but I will watch. I'm actually going to hop back over to my Facebook and see if there are any comments over there. I'm not seeing anything, so I guess that's good news. Okay. All right, well, we've been live for about 24 minutes. I'll likely hang out till about 11. So if anything comes to your mind, please let me know. And again, if you're just joining us, we're live on Fox 35's Facebook page, my Facebook page, which is Meteorologist T.J. Springer. And we are live on YouTube. And I now see 11 of you watching. So thank you so much, and thanks for sticking with me on Facebook. I so appreciate it. But we're going to do these every single weekend. We've been doing them every single weekend now at 10:30 to 11. So we're trying to get as many eyes on these as we can, because we want to make it a little community. Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything else right now. Let me hop in here and make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, good deal. Well, we can see a few showers and thunderstorms. I can zoom back in and do a little bit of shower and potential storm tracking here. It looks like anything that does have some lightning is farther to the south, and you say you're traveling maybe down the coast today, and actually pull up, zoom in here and pull up the radar here. Anywhere from Lauderdale up through Boca Raton, West Palm, Jupiter, we're seeing a few showers and thunderstorms. And we're still watching the activity just offshore of Brevard and Indian River County. So this, again, a couple sprinkles for us. This is our exclusive radar. For those of you that might not know, we actually have our own radar in eastern Orange County, close to Bithlo. So we can see a couple showers, kind of hugging the Intracoastal, hugging Route 1. If you live in Titusville, off of, say, Marina Road, good little downpour there for you. Hello, North Washington Ave, seeing some rain. Seeing some rain kind of splitting Mims and Turnbull along US 1, and these will be kind of heading up toward I-95. But really not much else. There is some activity offshore of the Volusia beaches as well. So we'll be watching that. And one little shower. Looks like it's fading away right on the beach line there. One little sprinkle. So not too much activity, but we're not expecting much as a whole today either. All right, Ty. We're getting some comments here. I love it. Thanks for. So we're going back. If you just hopped on, we were talking about this was an air conditioning / heat debate. Talking about heat. So let's see. Ty, you're saying 76 with fans on 24 hours a day. That's pretty good. We always sleep with a fan. We always have our fan on. Cindy, you're saying a night thermostat for the air conditioning set at 72. During the day, if I'm at home, I like it at 74 during the winter. I hardly ever have to turn on the heat. That's pretty good. That's nice. We don't have any large trees around our house. That's kind of great. A ton of blend. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people want to have it cooler. To sleep. I think it makes it easier to sleep. I think there was even a story not too long ago that we had on our air about having conditions a little cooler at night for sleeping. Good sleeping weather. All right, well, I see 15 of you watching on YouTube. Thank you. 13 now. I'm watching it live, and I've seen comments from Sonia Mills and Patricia here saying good morning. So, again, one more time, good morning to you, and good morning to you watching on YouTube. And good morning to everyone that's been watching on Facebook. Well, we have a few more minutes. If there's anything that is on your mind, any questions you may have, throw them in. And we can just chat for another couple minutes here before I get off. And let's see here. Josh, thank you. I'm giving a shout out to our digital manager, Josh. I am throwing this on. Let's see right now. I hope that I get it. I think I did. Let's see. I'm sorry that little bug was not on. A little TV talk. Let me for those of you that don't know, when we have our little banners down here, our little supers that say our names, or if you're watching our newscast from Fox Local, we have the little banners that will talk about who we're interviewing or what the headline of the story is. But we also have that little, we call it a little bug, but it's what you'll see down on the bottom of your TV screen, or if you're watching, say, on your phone or tablet, it's down on the left side of your screen, and it just shows Fox 35 and Fox Local. So, Josh, thank you. I'm going to zoom this back out. I think I zoomed in on me briefly, but I know we're not going to be hanging out for too much longer. But let me see if I can fix this camera. Let's see. There we go. Maybe I can zoom it out a little bit. Maybe there we go. That's better. That's better. We don't need that much, TJ. We don't need that much of a close up. Alrighty, well, this was another Fox 35 Weather Extra, another breakfast chat in the books. I'm going to hop back on over to Facebook and YouTube real fast. Oh, good morning, East Wazo. Hello, how are you? Happy Sunday. Thanks for hopping on. All right, Bonnie, how are you? Hiya. Happy Sunday. I think we're going to hang out for just about another minute or so. So if you are watching this after the fact, you're not watching it live anymore. If anything comes across your noggin, throw it in, and I'll try to answer as quickly as I can. But this actually, from what I can remember, might be one of the best ones I've done, at least in terms of all of you watching. So we really appreciate it. Again, comment, share, and we're going to keep doing these every single Saturday and Sunday at 10:30 to 11. Our Fox 35 Weather Extras, our little breakfast chat. So grab a cup of coffee. I already drank mine. I'm probably going to have to get one more. But grab a cup of coffee, sit down with me, and hang out from 10:30 to 11. And of course, if the weather is pressing, we might be on a little longer. So with that, I think I'm going to leave you, but have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you next weekend. But for those that are hanging out with us this week, we'll see you later on this week. Have a great day, and stay safe and stay cool.